Hello, and welcome back. So today it's a little different. I wanted to share a special place with you guys today. I will flip it around, and I do apologize about the shakiness. This stand, it's a decent stand, but it's still a little shaky, as you can see. Basically, it's going to look like the Blair Witch Project. If you haven't seen that movie, you should go watch it. It's pretty good. And good in the terms of bad. It was made in the 2000s. But, point being, today I wanted to share something with you. These woods. And I'm going to walk as slow as possible so it doesn't look like complete crap. But today I wanted to talk about inner healing, inner child healing. So I'm going to, excuse me, go away, bugs. Mainly, I just wanted to talk. There isn't any tarot readings today. I'm not doing any of that. Again, it's more or less just kind of blabbing. Like I said, most of these videos I do are actually for myself, to express myself, and those who resonate with it, well, it's for you. But today I keep getting told to do some more inner child work, more inner child healing. Fuck. And what's the best way to do it? Oh, hey, bunny rabbit. Excuse me, Mr. Bunny. Can I squeeze past you? I don't want to scare you. I'm sorry. I don't mean to be intruding on your home, but you're kind of in my pathway. You know what, we're just going to sit here and enjoy this bunny for a minute. Till he goes away. Okay. So, a good way to connect with your feminine side, which is part of the issue I've been struggling with. I don't feel excited anymore. I was talking about it in one of my last videos I just did. And being excited like you were as a kid is kind of the feminine side. That's the side that, allows you to get excited, allows you to be present and in the moment, more of the grounding. I could just be talking out my butt, but I do know some of this is true because I'm being told myself by other guides that I just need to balance it. I've become, again, a zombie, basically. 9 to 5. I work 9 to 5, typically, actually 8 to 2. But I do it because I have to. I don't necessarily enjoy it. Then I come home and unwind. I watch TV. I draw. But I don't feel any passion. I do it to do it. I'm not necessarily enjoying it. But the videos, the guides, the people are telling me to get back to a point where I enjoy it. Be excited for the next episode. Be excited to do anything. I know it sounds kind of silly because a lot of people these days hate their job. They hate waking up. They hate going to work. But I was talking about it in the last episode, and I keep repeating myself because I don't know if you guys actually watch them in order or watch every video. So it may have a common theme to my last one. The Tick. He's a cartoon character made in the 2000s, and he is super childlike. Even though he's probably 30, 40 years old, he's extremely childlike, especially in the fact that he's always excited. No matter what the scenario is, he's always happy, and he sees the best positive in anything, the best positivity. In fact, there was an episode he was talking about enjoying doing laundry. You're like, hold on a minute. I might not enjoy doing laundry. Like, it's something I feel like I have to do. But it's something you get to do. As I explained in the other video, I'm being told and seeing different things pointing to it that say, you get to. Change your perspective from you have to you get to. Because honestly, I don't like playing the comparison game, but there's a lot of people who don't even get to do that. I pass many homeless people all the time on the street, and it breaks my damn heart because I can't do anything for them. And again, it's not, oh, well, I'm doing better than that person. No, it's, ooh, Cardinal. It's just, it makes me grateful for what I do have. It makes me stop and realize, you know what? Maybe my life isn't that bad. It could always be worse. And I should enjoy what I have and what I do. Even though I don't necessarily enjoy my job, you know what? There was 2 weeks where I didn't have a job and I was totally freaking out about my bills. I live alone. I don't have anyone to help me. It's not like I can just call up my family and say, hey, pay my rent this month. So I get it. And I'm trying to, even though I don't really like the job I have, and it's stressful and taxing, I get to go to work. I still have a job. And yes, it may suck. That's the honest truth. I don't like it. But I am still grateful. It is possible to not like something but still be grateful for it. Because that's just you as a person. You can be grateful for stuff, even if it's, not the best. Like, for instance, I eat a lot of ramen. And that's not great. It's not because I'm doing it because I like it, although some days I do. I'm doing it because, well, it's cheap. And I have to pay bills. But again, instead of being, oh, I have to eat ramen, no, I get to eat ramen, okay? Kind of getting the theme here. By the way, I'm thoroughly convinced these two trees is a fairy portal. I go through it all the time. So it's kind of weird, but I always come back, so they must like me. Anyways, what I'm leading up to is inner child work. Things I'm realizing, things I'm seeing. You gotta connect with your inner kid. Possibly some of these, why you hate and why you don't like certain things, is trauma from your inner child. It's coming to my awareness more and more that I should be healing my inner kid. Oh, by the way, this is what I wanted to see. I don't know if you guys believe in manifestation. I totally do. I'm very powerful at it, apparently. And I've manifested some pretty silly things. I can't tell if you can read that sign. Let me try to get up close without falling in the river or falling into poison ivy. That would really suck. I would not be grateful for that. Tell you that. Oh, please, God, don't let something be living in this nest. I do not need to get bit by anything. Oh, these tree branches seem sturdy. Oh, fuck. So, about manifestation. I've been coming to this forest for a little while now, ever since I moved to my apartments, and I never noticed this. But you could obviously argue, oh, well, this forest was always there and that sign was always there. You know, you're right. But I also believe in a thing. Coincidence is just too much. If it's too coincidental, then I'm pretty sure I manifested this. Point being, my name legally is Adam. I go by Ash because those are my initials. Literally. Legally, initials are ASH. However, one day I was walking and I just happened to look up and I saw this sign. That says Adam Falls. Like, what are the odds that this forest that I trek through all the time, that is my safe space, is called Adam Falls? That is hilarious. So, you don't believe in manifestation? I hope you do now. That's crazy. Again, you could argue that it was always there, and I'm pretty sure it was, but that's so funny. It's even engraved and everything. So I don't know if the fairies did it for me or it just was always there. I don't know, I'm going to believe I manifested it. But turn back to the wonders of the forest. Again, it helps connect to nature, part of your feminine side. That's kind of why I'm outside doing this. It's a little weird. The audio's probably going to suck. And again, the camera's kind of shaky. But hey, it is what it is. Eventually I will stop and sit down. I'm trying to get to a certain spot. But healing the inner kid, if you can, talk to it. And I know that may not make sense and I might sound a little bonkers, but talk to your inner kid. Some people, such as I, sometimes can do it. You can actually ask your inner kid what it needs, what's going on, what's wrong. I will literally have a conversation with myself sometimes. Other times, it pulls up in the form of triggers. Almost there. This is the spot I tend to sit at. There's this cool little bridge here. I mean, look at that. How do you come sit out here and you're not happy? This is just the epitome of peace. in my opinion. Deploy. Oh shit, I locked it. Unlock. Yeah, there we go. Deploy. Yeah. Awesome. Oh, that's not cool. I'm gonna jump out of my bag. Well, that works. So the focus isn't really meant to be on me today. I'll turn it around from time to time, but I want you to stare at this forest and just kind of listen. It's become pretty prevalent to me. Again, you can ask your inner child, and if you don't feel like they respond or talk to you, that's okay. But the way to determine what your inner child needs or wants is by looking in the triggers of your current self. For instance, I know I've said this story a few times in a couple of videos, and I'm not bringing it up to get sympathy. Don't be like, oh, that's so sad. It did suck, it's true. But it made me realize the trauma in a good way. For instance, I was with my coworker yesterday, and I was going to run to the gas station across the street because I wanted a snack and she wanted gum. Well, she is a little older than me, so I kind of see her as a elder figure, respect your elders. And what happened was she asked me to get her gum. And she did this gum, like it's in this kind of open container. And I kept trying to probe even further, like what kind of gum, what flavor, anything. Anything fruity, anything strawberry. I was like, okay, what flavor, like what brand? Do you like juicy fruit? Do you like spearmint? Do you like blah, blah, blah? She goes, well, it's like in this pop open container. I was like, okay. So I did my best. I ended up coming back with a box of mints because it was in a pop open container. And I was just trying to rush out the door because I left her alone. So I came back with the wrong thing. And I felt it in my chest. I'm instantly like, oh no. Shit, let me run back. I'm literally like, I'll go back to the store now. Let me run back. I'll go get what you want. I'll correct it. In fact, she's like, no, it's okay. And I even tried to give her her money back. I'm like, here, take your money back. I didn't get you what you wanted. Take your money. I'll accept that I screwed up and I'll pay for it. She's like, no, it's okay. And I was like, why am I feeling like this? Well, it triggered a memory in my head. A lot of people say they can't remember their childhood, and that's fair because we tend to block it out. It's completely fair because I, for the longest time, couldn't remember my childhood either. Sometimes it's so traumatic we completely block it out. However, back in high school specifically, it started playing in my head like a movie. It actually wouldn't leave me alone. It's like I unlocked all my memories, and it was playing like a film, almost one of those, your life flashes before your eyes before death, except I wasn't dying. It was happening on a regular, and I was just playing through memories in my head. Eventually I got it to stop, but now I'm at a point where I can recall memories if I really wanted to. As far back as, well, honestly, I haven't tried. I'm kind of scared to. I'm going to be honest. Hey, buzz off. I'm kind of scared to. Again, much like other people, my childhood wasn't the best. It's not exactly something you want to go and revisit. So you know what, my tail is probably getting really dirty. I actually have a tail today. So probably not let it sit in the dirt. I also have ADHD brain, so just bear with me, guys. Kind of clean it out. So the memory triggered of a time I was sitting in a gas station with my dad. And he asked me to quick run in and grab food. Because he was hungry and we wanted a snack. I was like, well, what do you want? Food. I'm like, well, what kind of food? Food. I was like, alright, dude, whatever. So I ran in and grabbed candy. I was 10 years old. To a kid, candy's food, And I take it back inside and he yells at me. What the hell is this? I said food. I was like, well, you didn't say what. He's like, food. I was like, alright. He just kept repeating himself. He literally said, now I'm going to sit here and eat it in front of you. That's pretty effed up. And I was like, whoa, that just came out of nowhere. So I've got trauma of doing the wrong thing because I got yelled at for it, making a simple mistake. And it wasn't even really a mistake. If you want to play the blame game, it's his fault. He should have just ran in with me. Despite whatever he was doing, we'll go away. Go away, airplane. Despite that, we'll say it happened, it is what it is. But that made me realize, obviously, that was my trauma. It surfaced up. Part of my inner kid was still struggling with this, even though I'm 31. And again, I'm kind of jumping all over the place. I apologize, but I'm 31. And it's great. I learned how to be an adult. I kept a job for 3 years. I'm not bouncing around like crazy. I've been paying bills by myself. I'm consider myself to be a successful adult, whatever that means. However, at 31 years old, I am just now learning how to be a kid because I didn't get to be a kid when I was a kid. Again, I tell you this not to get sympathy, just to relay my story because I know there's a lot of people who had the same thing. I was controlled with fear. In fact, my dad acknowledged it one day. He said he always gets compliments how we're the best behaved children he's ever seen. But he admitted it one day. He's like, that's because I do it out of fear. You're scared of me. And it was true. Any little thing that would upset him, I was so afraid of getting yelled at, cussed at. And you want to argue, abuse is abuse. Laying your hands on your kid at all is abuse. He would do what's called a duff. He would smack me upside the back of the head. Sometimes he would kick me in the ass. Again, I know people have had it much worse, so I'm not trying to complain. But it's still pretty awful. To lay or to physically injure your child at all is abuse. Mentally also. He mentally abused everyone in the family. And I'm not dogging on my dad, although it sounds like I am. There's other things that went into play as a child that caused me trauma. It's not just my family, and we'll touch on that. But for those who had abusive parents, because both my parents are abusive. Not just my dad. My mom was pretty mentally abusive too. She never touched me, but sure as hell was not the best parent. In fact, one of the things I learned was to keep quiet and shut up and not complain. So me being vulnerable with you guys and talking about this is part of the way I'm trying to be vulnerable and open up. Because I was always told to keep a lid on it in a roundabout way. As many of you know, I am disabled. Short arm, little arm. And I've always felt like I was not allowed to be sad about it. Whenever I would feel bad for myself that I got judged, and again, this is all just kind of one big knot of trauma. I would feel bad because I wasn't like normal kids. My mom would look at me and say, how about I take you to the hospital and show you kids or people with real problems? Downsizing and minimizing my issues. So that's something I do as a current adult. It's a struggle. I am literally missing bones in my arm. And even to today, I still feel like I constantly get judged. People don't think I can do work. You know, they'll never say it out loud, but I've missed a lot of job opportunities because of that. And I always shrug it off, trying to be strong, and just let it go. Because I was told not to allow myself to grieve, in a way. I was not allowed to feel sorry for myself, or feel bad about anything that was happening to me. So I didn't. I shut up and said, okay, it is what it is. And I started internalizing it, and even turning it on others, like, F you. It still bugs me, to this day, when people at work think, like, dude, I am a physically fit adult. I can lift up to 70 to 80 pounds comfortably, even with my disability. I can function as a, hold on, I don't want to let go. I gotta do air quotes, quote unquote, normal person. I can function as a normal person with 2 arms. In fact, I'm actually faster than most people at my job. So for me to be smart and adapt like that just kind of shows me how tough I am, and I constantly forget that. But it's these things that are popping back up in my head that make it obvious, hey, you had a fucked up childhood. I'm sure you did too. Or else you probably wouldn't be here. So what I'm doing here today is I'm trying to accept that and grieve for my inner child. I sit here and call myself out on so many things. Ooh, butterfly. For instance, I've never felt like I could be vulnerable. Anytime I did, I tried to be honest with my family, they would shut me down. Anytime I tried to be honest with other people, they'd get angry. Nobody truly wants to hear the truth. Or anytime I tried to express myself in any way, I was always treated as the oddball, the weirdo, and people would shun me. I always got excluded, of course, I was a kid. Luckily, I never got physically bullied, but I did get bullied at school. A lot. And always left out, and I was that sad kid sitting on the playground by himself. That stereotype. And that brought up traumas. I still feel like I get attacked. It's kind of funny. I actually realized that playing a video game. I even said it out loud. It's a game called StarCraft. And I keep getting screwed on that game. It's like, even though I'm playing the game with 2 or 3 other teammates, I always end up being the one who gets attacked first. Literally one day I'm just like, dude, why do I feel like I'm always getting attacked? Why do I feel like I get singled out? I'm just like, oh. I feel like that at work. I feel like that at home. I've always felt like that throughout my entire childhood, even to my adulthood. I've always felt like I've had to do twice as much work as everyone else, which unfortunately is just partly true. It's because of the short arm. I've always had to work harder than everyone else. I've always feel like I've had to, and not just the arm in general, with people, with my family, I feel like I've always had to work twice as hard to earn love, to earn respect, where it should have just been given to me freely. I've always felt like I've had to try so hard at everything. Because even as a kid, my parents had the perspective of, I'm broken. I'm not like other kids, I am broken. I'm not the same. And they always treated me differently than they did my sisters. I'm not going to sit here and hate them for it. I used to. I can already feel it welling up in my chest like this hurts. Admitting this sucks, alright? It's not easy. It's not easy for you to dig down into your inner childhood and dig up all this crap. It's like digging up the skeletons in your closet. But a better analogy, just gonna let that plane fly by. I don't know if you guys can hear it. I apologize. I don't have one of those really awesome microphones that silence everything. I'm just kinda out here doing what I can with what I have. Fuck off, bugs! The point of the story is, how you feel is reflected in the universe. So, unless you dig up these traumas, they continue to repeat themselves. So like I said, I've always felt like I got bullied, I got singled out, and I've always had to work twice as hard than everybody else. And that even reflects in my day-to-day life here. Like my last job, I got fired. I feel like I got singled out at work. Even though I was a great worker, I always showed up on time, I never called in. I got fired for what I perceived to be BS. One of the coworkers didn't like me because I wasn't willing to tolerate. I had to set up boundaries, and I wouldn't let people push me around or bully me anymore. Some days, yeah, maybe I was being a butthole. Tried my best not to. But when you set up boundaries, people don't like that. When you won't let people treat you a certain way, it upsets them and pisses them off. But I feel like I was being attacked at work. And guess what? I was. So unless you come to terms with these traumas, with these stories, it keeps happening. The universe isn't a bully. I always felt like I said I was getting bullied by the universe. Shit was just happening to me. Again, I got fired from job for stupid reasons that weren't my fault. Unjustly fired. And again, it could just be a reflection of how I felt. The universe is neutral. It gives you what you believe. So if you believe you're bullied and you're unworthy and you suck and you have to shut up and you're not allowed to be yourself, if you're not good enough, you're unworthy, the universe gives you that back. So you have to actively change your mind and your perception and your beliefs, and it's so fucking hard. It's extremely hard. And I apologize, I might actually start crying. That's the point, is to come out here and grieve. I never allowed myself to feel these feelings. I just tucked it away and said that's how life is. You know what? I'm allowed to be fucking mad, alright? I grew up with a dad who was physically and mentally abusive. And the funny thing is, I remember him literally screaming at me, "You have fucking anger issues. You need to go to a doctor and a psychiatrist and anger management." Anytime I would get mad or be upset, and you can hear my voice, you can tell I'm clearly not over this. Anytime I would be upset or angry with what is going on, with the injustice in my life, anytime I showed any anger or anything other than pure happiness, I would get screamed at. And I was told that's not okay. So I grew up feeling like I'm not allowed to express myself. And by God, I am angry. I'm really angry. And it's okay to be. You're allowed to be angry at these situations. You're allowed to feel emotions. Because like I said, I don't feel like I could. I was never allowed to cry. I was never allowed to be angry. So I am doing my best to grieve my childhood and be like, you know what, little me? That sucked. Your childhood sucked, alright? It's true. I'm sorry. But it's not enough to just simply accept it and say, hey, that sucked. You must feel the feelings and then be that person you wish you had in your life. I tried to connect with people. All I truly want as an adult is what I wanted as a kid. I want to know I'm okay. I want to know it's safe to be myself, that I'm allowed to express myself, that I'm allowed to voice my issues, my opinions. I want someone to tell me it's okay, because I never got that as a child. I want someone to let me know I am worthy and I'm not crap. That it's okay. Everything's okay. And that what I went through is valid. And I'm allowed to be angry. I'm allowed to be upset. I'm allowed to be a person. Because I wasn't allowed growing up. So now I have to nurture and parent my inner child, because I didn't get that growing up. So now I'm coming back to myself and saying, you know what, little man, I hear you. I hear you loud and clear. I know you want to be heard. All those times you lashed out of anger, all those times you were just nasty or not a great person. It's just a cry for attention, a cry saying, I'm in pain. Please help me. That's all it is for anyone. Anytime anyone's being nasty. Just like how you're told bullies. If you're getting bullied at school or you're getting bullied in real life, that's all it is. It's them not acknowledging the pain within themselves, so they're lashing out at you. In reality, what they're saying is, I was hurt, so I do it to others. In fact, here's part of the thing that I learned, and I had to weed out myself, was in order to survive those messed up situations, you become what the environment is. So for instance, an analogy is, if a good anime is called Vinland Saga. Don't want to spoil it, but this kid was thrown into battle. He was raised on a battlefield, so he never got to be a kid. All he knew was blood and violence and how to kill. He killed his first person at 10 years old. So if you're placed in a scenario full of killers, and you're constantly being attacked and have to defend yourself, what do you become? You become a killer. Because you are almost forced to do that. So growing up in a narcissistic, abusive family, I became a bully. I became a liar. I became a manipulator. I became a straight up asshole. Because that was the scenario I was raised up in. In order to get anything in my life, I felt like I had to manipulate. I had to lie. I had to hurt someone to get it. And growing up, it feels absolutely awful. Because acknowledging that within myself, I'm like, wow, maybe, I'm not going to say I'm a bad person, but I definitely don't like who I am. So I want to heal, and I want to change for the better, and be better than what I was. Because you know what? I hated my childhood. I was so convinced I hated it because of all the pain. And now that I realize that's what I was and that's what I did, I don't want to do that to anyone else anymore. I don't want to put anyone through the same pain I went through. And that's extremely difficult. Because again, that is why I'm so into shadow work. That's why I love the shadow work deck that I do. And again, I know it's not really popular for videos, but it needs to be done. It needs to be heard. If you want to grow and evolve as a person, you gotta dig up those shadows, man. You gotta flash that flashlight and be like, look at all these demons and these shadows I have hiding. It's unpleasant. The things you see are horrible. Nobody wants to hold up a mirror to themselves and see that you've been cruel and nasty and you lie. Nobody wants that truth to be slapped in their face. I tell you what, even as great of a spiritual person as I say I am, I still get mad. Not mad, but it's like the universe slaps me with an epiphany. Hey man, you're kind of being an asshole. Or maybe you just manipulated that person. I'm just like, damn it, you're right. Shit. Okay, I'll stop that. I've acknowledged I do these things, and I'll do my best to rewrite my brain code. But sometimes, again, that's not enough. You have to heal your inner child and allow it to feel these injustices. And then, again, nurture it like a good parent. I don't want to be, calling people out. Nurture it like you would want it to be, or it should have been. Be like, Adam, I know you weren't heard growing up. I know you've never used your voice. I know you were always silent and quiet because you were taught to. You were yelled at and told it's not okay. You were basically taught you're not allowed to have opinions. You're not allowed to be angry. You're not allowed to be a person. And I'm sorry. But it's safe. You can be whatever the hell you want to be. It's okay. You can be whatever you want. You can voice your opinions. You can be honest with yourself and the others. Even if it hurts. even if they get upset, even if they don't like what you have to say. Now, I'm not saying go out and lash out and be like, you know what? I think you're being an asshole. Be like, you know what? Hey, man. In fact, this was a boundary I set up with a friend who is no longer a friend. I realized he was also being manipulative, and he was not being a good friend. He was not meeting me halfway. He was not making an effort. He was actually using and lying and manipulating me. He was never there when I needed him. So I backed away, and he became an absolute asshole. He bullied me at work every day he could. Anytime he was in a bad mood, he took it out on me. Because I realized I was letting him mistreat me and lie to me and act like everything was okay. Well, I no longer have that friend. And it hurts. It really does. I'm back to being alone. I don't have friends, and that's part of the vulnerability, is I am honestly willing to admit I don't feel like I can let people in my life because of that happen. Because stuff like that happens. I don't feel like I can be my honest self around anyone, because I never got accepted. So, again, it loops back to, you have to be that person to accept yourself. Be like, you know what, it's alright. If people don't like you, that's okay. Doesn't mean they suck. Doesn't mean they're terrible people. It's just they don't resonate with you. But there are people who will like you for who you are. There are people who will love you like you love yourself. Like I said and I acknowledged years ago, all I wanted was to be loved. That's all anyone ever wants. They want to feel like people care about them and love them. But we're so stuck in a messed up society these days where you're treated like less than a person. Nobody genuinely cares about anyone but themselves. Because we're just a bunch of adults or kids trapped in adult bodies. I came to terms with that like 5 years ago, maybe less, whenever COVID broke out. I was living with some very narcissistic people. And I thought to myself, I'm like, damn, dude, this 40, 50-year-old woman is acting like a child. In fact, even my own stepmom's done it before. Like one day, she watches football. She loves college football. There ain't nothing wrong with that. But she was trying to get college football set up. They paid for all these packages, TV channels and stuff, and they set it up the day before. Literally an hour before the game, they were trying to get it to work because they didn't have the precognition or whatever to want to set it up before, and make sure it was working. So she's sitting there throwing a tantrum, yelling at my dad. My dad's stressed out, getting angry because he's not getting it to work. And I remember her exact words were, if I don't get my football, I'm going to scream. And I thought to myself, wow. Of course, this is very judgmental. I'm trying to move past that too. But it was like, wow, that's not really mature for a 50-year-old woman to say. And it's not trying to call them out and be like, oh, you're a terrible person. No. It's because everyone is a child trapped in their inner body. I realized they stopped maturing at a certain age. My stepmom was still stuck in high school. My dad was stuck in college. They never grew up past that point. Something happened, or the trigger or trauma or something that stopped them from growing up. And they never got to fully experience what happened to them at that age or growing up to that point. It's just reliving the stories of your childhood. Back to those narcissistic roommates I used to live with, same thing. I felt like it was a little inner kid driving around this big body, this adult body. And in reality, that's kind of true. Because again, we stop maturing at a certain point. Unless you face your inner demons and are honest with yourself, you're never going to grow. One of the analogies I heard was, it's like, I don't know how it is these days, the more we move into technology, I don't know if high school kids still carry around books. And by God, it makes me feel old saying this, but back in my days, ugh, just throwing up a little bit in my mouth saying that. Back in my days, we still had the 5 to 10 pound textbooks. And we had to carry around one for almost every class. And I had like 5 or 6. Literally, I had to keep them in my locker because of how much crap I had to carry with me. Which also led me to forgetting my books oftentimes, but hey, whatever. So, you're this little kid, young adult, carrying around a 40-pound backpack full of just crap you don't necessarily need that's weighing you down. So, as you get older, try to unpack that backpack and be like, you know what, this book was my, young adult. And if you go through and read the story, the chapters, and say, you know what, this happened, this happened, this happened, that's true. And then once you're done with the story, hell, I'd say burn it. Burn the damn book. Some people just put it right back in their backpack and they're like, yep, that was a great story, or that was a sad story. And they just put it back in their backpack and they just keep going. But eventually the point is, maybe you don't have to burn it. Maybe you read it in a way that you acknowledge it and then you rewrite the story. You change the perspective of what it was. Like I said, for instance, I used to be super angry at my dad. Still kind of am. This is one of my biggest, deepest, darkest secrets. He overacted one day. One day, I'm sorry guys, it's really hard to be vulnerable because I feel so guilty about it. I was really angry as a kid. And my sister was about 2, 3 years old. So I was probably 8, 9, 10. We were cleaning out my attic. And I got in trouble for some crap that wasn't my fault. Like I said, feeling attacked, injustice. And it brings me to tears because I feel so guilty. I don't even know if my sister knows this story. But my little sister was 3 years old and she couldn't get up in the attic. And something pissed me off so bad. I said I was going to take something and throw it downstairs and allow my little sister to choke on it. I still feel so bad. And I know I need to let that go. But what was my dad's response? He took me downstairs and in front of my 2 sisters screamed at me and then picked me up by the throat off the ground and screamed at me and said, "How do you like it?" Well, my mom just sat there and watched. I have been so angry about that for years. Honest to God, I've wanted to beat my dad's ass so many times and get justice for all the times he hit me or kicked me and did shit like that. I never did, though. I never did. And I know what I said was fucked up, but I was still a kid. He was an adult. And I don't even know if I've let that go, because clearly I'm sitting here breaking down in tears about it. I don't think I've let that go. And if I were to tell him this today, of course he would never remember it, or at least admit to it. That is one of the memories that has been forever ingrained into my mind. So for those who have life similar to mine, I want you to know it's okay. That you're okay. I'm telling this to my inner kid. You didn't deserve that. Tell this to your inner kid too, if I'm speaking to your inner kid. You didn't deserve the life you had. Because we are convinced we do. That's part of the abuse. I was convinced that I deserved everything I got. Every time he screamed at me, every time he mistreated me. Even the people in my school, everything. Not just my dad, my mom, society. Like I said, I felt unworthy, and that I deserved everything I went through. And that is not true. You just gotta look at yourself in the mirror and be like, look, you didn't deserve that. That was not your fault. It's not your fault the parents broke up even though they say it was. It's not your fault that they did this to you. So, little me inside, the little you inside, I want you to know it's safe. I am here for you, and I am so sorry I was not. I neglected you for years. I refused to admit the trauma and the pain that you went through, because I was taught to believe it was nothing. I was taught that I was so strong that I lived through it, that it didn't really matter, that it wasn't important. But it was. You didn't deserve any of that. I'm so sorry. And doing this too, crying on camera. Luckily you guys don't see me. I absolutely hate this. Like I said, I always feel like I'm trying to get sympathy and trying to make you feel bad for me. And like I said, I'm not allowed to be vulnerable, but I'm just going to allow it to happen. I don't know how many times I have to do this. I've already done this before. There's many times. Do it as many times as you need. Cry out on a regular basis if you need to. Cry as many times as you feel like it. Cry whenever you feel like it. You're not weak. You're a human. You're just simply human. And you're allowed to be a human. It's okay. And forgive those. That's also a big part of it. Forgive them for it too. I know it really sucks hearing this, but you need to forgive them for it. Because in the end, it also wasn't really their fault either. It's how they were raised. Generational trauma. It's how they were raised, and they didn't know any better either. That doesn't make it okay. It was never okay for them to touch you, or to lie to you or hurt you. But let go of the pain, let go of the anger, and acknowledge that again, it wasn't necessarily their fault either. They were just acting on old stories. They didn't know any better. Just like you didn't know any better. You were a fucking kid. So you know what? Yep, I'm 30. I'm 31. And I'm gonna go be a fucking kid. I'm gonna live out and just be, as one of my tarot card readings said, be spontaneous. Be energetic. Get back that energy you felt as a kid. Because being an adult sucks and it's overrated. Keep that childlike wonder. Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Bunny. I didn't mean to scare you off. Keep that childlike wonder in your heart. Have passion for stuff that you do. Enjoy what you do. I've gotten to the point I just draw because I'm good at it. I don't even know if I enjoy it anymore. I don't know if I enjoy TV or I just watch it just because I have to. I feel like I have to. I don't know what else to do with my time. But you know what? Start enjoying life again. I give you permission. If you don't give yourself permission, I give you permission. Start enjoying your life again. You're allowed to be excited. You're allowed to be happy. Don't give a fuck what anyone says. And that's something I've been trying to do. Like right now, I'm out in the woods wearing ears and a tail. I enjoy it. I think it's fun. It's weird. It's different. The furry community gets so much crap. But I have a feeling I'm supposed to go wear it out in public. Because honestly, that's a good way for me to just get over my bullcrap. Not give a crap about what anyone says. I remember myself as a kid. One year. One year we were supposed to dress up like superheroes. But I didn't have much money as a kid, and of course my parents weren't going to get me anything. So, we're allowed to dress up and be funny and goofy, and my friend Kendra had this pink Superman cape. And she was too embarrassed to wear it. So I looked at her without a thought, said, give it to me. I'll wear it all day. She's like, really? It's like, I don't give a shit. Let me put it on. Literally all day through school. 8 hours of classes, I wore it. Even one of my teachers looked at me, who knew me very well. Looked at me and goes, Adam, of course you would wear that pink Superman cape. He wasn't saying it demeaning, he just thought it was hilarious. Because that was the kind of kid I was. I didn't give a crap. I didn't give a crap about the bullies. I didn't care what they said. Even if it hurt, I was still willing to be my weird, crazy, eccentric self. And as I got older, I stopped. So you know what? I felt like I've cried enough. I've done good. Oh, I've healed. Well, not necessarily. You don't get one good crying session and say, oh, look, I'm good, I'm healed, yay. Nah, I may have to come back and do this time and time again. You don't have to be out in nature to do it. Okay, I can't get that over my ears. You don't have to be out in nature to forgive yourself. See, look at that, look at puffy old eyes, and I feel like a goober, but hey, whatever. Can I, Ow! Damn it! That was not locked. So we're going to continue this venture through the woods. And again, as much as this video helps others, it's more or less for me. Because I know I'm getting a sensation that I won't be in my apartment for much longer. Not necessarily a negative thing, but I've outgrown my space of where I live. And because I keep evolving and growing, that means I will fairly soon be moving on to somewhere else. And I absolutely love this forest, and I'm extremely sad to let it go. But with all good things, we must let it go and move on, because it will be replaced by something better. I will be in a better place. But that doesn't mean I can't enjoy this. So I'm going to enjoy it while I'm here, and I'm going to look back on this video, just so I can enjoy this forest, whenever I need to. And again, right here. This barrier, these trees, I gotta wonder if this is the exit of the fairy forest. They often have tree branches kind of like that, signaling that that's their gate. And those who believe, those who don't, eat a dick. I'm just kidding. I'm gonna miss you, forest. I really hope I find another one nearby. I don't have any current plans to move. That was a weird bug. But like I said, I just feel it in my gut. I'm probably not going to stay where I am forever. I don't think I've gone down that path before. Where's this lead? If you're still sticking around... Oh, it's literally the same patch. If you're still sticking around after this hour-long cry session, I appreciate it, and I really hope this video did something for you. Even if it didn't, you get to see some furry weirdo cry. Congratulations. You've wasted an hour. Nope. Man, I really need to come out here and have a picnic before I leave. I just... I can't get over it. I miss Minnesota so much because woods were everywhere. I miss nature. I truly miss being surrounded by trees. Maybe I'll go live in California. Maybe I'll move back to Minnesota. Maybe I'll live somewhere with more trees. Because Texas, I tell you what, just does not have enough forests. Wisconsin. Ooh, Wisconsin. Wisconsin was one of my favorite camping places, but the California trees are huge. I luckily got to see them. Sorry about the wind. It's an absolutely beautiful park, and as long as I stay in Texas, I will come back and visit this park. I didn't even show you the other half. I really don't have anything else left to say. I'm just kind of showing you guys the beauty of nature. And this is definitely some of the healing I've been getting. Because I see it and I feel it. I feel the beauty in nature. I feel excited to be out here. I love this. Look at this. Look at this fucking flower. Look at that. It's beautiful. Ooh, butterfly. If I could, I would live in a treehouse. As long as I can have Wi-Fi, I would live in a treehouse. I kind of need to go with Wi-Fi. Oh, we're getting back into the screaming children. Okay. So I guess... that is bright as hell. We're gonna end this here. We're gonna go eat me some food. Look at that face. You can just tell I'm tired. I look tired, man. I really hope this helped you a little bit and some of my words get through to you. And I hope it helps heal you as well. I definitely feel a little bit better after this, and I really hope you do too. Because honestly, healing your inner child is one of the most important things, in my opinion, that you could do towards becoming a better person or evolving. You won't be able to get anywhere without it. In fact, right now I'm being told by my guides it's one of the most important things to me. In order for me to level up again and grow as a person and start enjoying life again, I have to reconnect with my inner kid. And it is actually a need. I don't like saying need, but this is a need. It's a must. Heal your inner kid. Alright, I'm gonna go now. Have a great day, guys.